In the quiet village of Blackmere, where the fog rarely lifts and the ravens never leave, the bells of St. Elric's Church rang for the first time in 40 years. No one had touched them, no one was inside, and within 24 hours, someone was dead. Blackmere, nestled in a forgotten corner of Dorset, was a village time had mostly abandoned. Rows of moss-covered stone cottages lined the single cobbled street. The only noise came from the crows and the wind brushing through skeletal trees. St. Elric's Church stood at the village's edge, its doors chained shut, its bell tower leaning like a drunk man. The bells had not rung since 1983, the year Father Aldwin hanged himself from the ropes above the nave. It was now October 12th, 2023. Fog rolled in thicker than ever that morning, and at precisely 6:06 a.m., the church bells began to ring. Loud, chaotic, 7 tolls. Eleanor Harper, the village's postmistress, was the first to report it. She claimed she saw a shadow in the belfry window. No one believed her, but by nightfall, she was dead, found slumped over the altar inside the very church, her mouth stuffed with crow feathers. Detective Inspector Reese Morley had never heard of Blackmere before the case crossed his desk. A single line in the briefing caught his eye. Subject found in deconsecrated church, signs of ritual interference. He arrived 2 days later. The villagers were tight-lipped, avoiding eye contact. Some wouldn't speak to him at all. Local folklore bubbled beneath every conversation. Whispers of the bell ringer, a faceless entity said to toll the bells before death visits. Reese dismissed it as superstition until he visited the church himself. The inside was worse than he'd imagined. Dust coated every surface. Wax dripped like blood from ancient candelabras. And on the wall behind the altar, someone had painted a crude image, a bell with an eye in its center. Autopsy confirmed Eleanor suffocated. No signs of forced entry, no DNA, nothing, except the feathers fresh, black, and slick with oil. Reese dug into village records and learned St. Elric's had a darker past than even the locals admitted. In 1947, 3 children went missing. All 3 were last seen playing near the church. Their bodies were never found. In 1966, the bell ringer, a man named Cyril Dunn, was accused of luring a teenage girl inside. She survived, but Cyril vanished the next day. Some said he fled. Others claimed the church took him. Then came 1983, Father Aldwin's suicide. Every event coincided with the bells ringing unexpectedly. Always in October, always 7 tolls. Reese set up surveillance around the church, motion sensors, cameras. He even stationed a constable nearby. On October 19th, the bells rang again. The footage showed no one entering or exiting, but the interior camera, just one angle facing the nave, flickered violently at 6:06 a.m. When the feed returned, the image showed a figure standing on the altar, tall, draped in black, no face. It rang the bell rope once, then disappeared. The constable on duty, P.C. Doyle, was found shortly after, alive but comatose, hands frozen into fists. Both eardrums ruptured. He had bled from the eyes. Scratched into the inside of the church door were the words, "Next comes the one who listens." Reese brought in a folklorist, Dr. Isla Mead, who specialized in ritualistic myths of southern England. Her findings were chilling. The symbol of the bell with the eye matched 17th century occult manuscripts. A heretical sect called the Watchers Below believed in summoning a bell ringer who judged the wicked by sound. The ritual required 3 steps. 1. An awakening toll. 2. A sacrifice of silence. 3. A reckoning. Eleanor was the awakening. Doyle the silent witness. Next was reckoning. Reese decided to break the chain literally. He and Isla went into the church at night to cut the bell ropes and destroy the altar. At 6 a.m., the air grew cold. The candles they brought wouldn't light. The tower groaned. 6:05 a.m. A low ringing began, not from the bell, but from within their ears. 6:06 a.m. Isla collapsed, screaming that she could see Cyril Dunn standing in the shadows. Reese turned. There was nothing. The bells rang, but not from above, from below. He tore open the altar and found a staircase, old, damp, leading to a crypt beneath the church. At the bottom, bones, dozens, and a single iron bell small enough to hold. It began to toll on its own. Behind him, something moved. Reese dragged Isla out as the crypt walls began to shake. The bell shrieked. The air turned black. Outside, the sun was rising. The church collapsed in on itself. No one else died. The bells have not rung since. Reese keeps the iron bell in a locked case in his flat. Sometimes, just before October, he swears he hears it ring. Only once. Only for him. What if some buildings aren't just haunted, but alive? If you enjoyed this tale, don't forget to subscribe for more dark stories from the shadows of England.